Welcome to this session. This is building the armature. Of course, you can see that. Uh, I built the armature out of copper pipe with the intention of making certain that it was going to be strong enough to hold the clay that was going to go on top of everything. I used the steel pipe as a center support, just once again out of paranoia. And of course securely screwed to the board that it was sitting on. Um, Welding the copper itself was was problematic in that I hadn't done that kind of work before. So it was one of those things where if you decide to endeavor to do an armature like this, it's best to experiment around a little bit on something smaller. But it actually went pretty smoothly. I'd watched some YouTube how-to videos on soldering copper pipe, and it's pretty straightforward. But anyway, uh, the sculpture itself, I measured in pieces as you saw initially, and kind of laid it out on guidelines, and I did some adjusting uh, as I went. Initially, some of the pieces were a little too long, I thought, and so I cut them back. Um, excuse me. Initially, I'd had a straight neck, and it just didn't seem dynamic enough. So I wound up building this neck that we're watching right now. Um, the decision to do that was that way it could kind of look off to the side and have a little bit more length and angle to it. Um, Incidentally, this kind of pipe is not really intended for bending the way I did it, so I had to be really careful and bend it in stages. There may be a way to bend copper pipe more easily and with a little bit more grace than what I did, but like I said, it's an experience on my part. Uh, the entire armature was a learning process, and which is good. Next time if I work this big, uh, I'll be a little bit more prepared. Um, and truly, the main reason that I worked so large was just for detail purposes. Um, but in a lot, and oh, and by the way, if you do solder copper pipe, don't do it barefoot. I had so many bits of solder fall off on my foot, it wasn't even funny. It was really stupid on my part. But the final piece, when I got the armature finished and the initial aspects of the mesh put on there, I realized quickly that I needed to move it out of my main workspace and into another area, as if I went ahead and put the clay on in its present workspace, it would have been really hard to get it out of there. Uh, and I wasn't bright enough to put wheels on the sculpture itself in the beginning, so I had to do that after I'd already put a good bit of the clay on it, which raised the weight considerably. It was almost a little over 100 pounds on it. I'd bought 150 pounds of clay just in case, and there's probably about 110 pounds of clay on it. So it's a very, very heavy sculpture. But I'm glad that I used the copper pipe. I thought about using PVC, and it may have worked, uh, but I had a lot of concern about the fact that the PVC itself might have bent under the weight or even broken. And as you can see here, I've shored up joints with fiberglass, and also, as you see here in a second, I've added a centerpiece to provide curvature for the chest, uh, and also here it also gave a bit more support, but it also gave me the chance for the clavicle, uh, you know, that kind of thing. It just made it easier to when I put the wire mesh on there, just something to curve around. What I didn't do initially with the wire mesh, and what I should have, and actually I'd thought about, was to put some plastic bags inside the torso area, and then fill it with foam to provide some support, so there wouldn't be as much give when I was applying the clay. And I completely forgot about it and had everything already wired together uh, after I'd put the clay on there. So I had to go back after pretty much all the clay was in place and squirt the foam inside. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. The next video will be making the crystals for the creature. See you next time.